Welcome, Hagerman community. This is Brian Whitmarsh, your chairman. I wanted to provide some highlights for you from last night's board meeting. First of all, we started off the meeting like always, going through the previous agenda and the meeting notes, approving the current agenda, walking through in detail the different financials for both the grade school, junior high, and high school. We then had a time for public input. Last night there was no submitted public input. Then we jumped into some detailed financial reports. We went in and checked the most recent Medicaid billing, making sure everything is looking good there. Went into detail on the general fund and the various different funds to make sure that money is being set aside as we said it was during the levy and the bond campaigns. So things are going well there. We then jumped into reviews and reports from our administration. Started off with Mark Kress, just highlighting a few things that Mark spoke about. The hot lunch program is going great. Sounds like we even served one day 265 people, which is actually the highest day that we've had, even including days that we're in school. There are people working very hard. Luann Coates and her team is working very hard to make lunches for the students. People can come pick up those breakfast and lunches. I think it's between 9 and 11. And then also we do have a bus route that's going out delivering these breakfast and lunches to the different bus routes. If you're not aware of that, you feel free to contact the district office and you can make sure that you're able to get that. You can show up, but you can ask any questions there as related to that. But it's great that we're still able to serve the community in that way. Also talked about what the potential budget constraints could be. It looks like potentially we have a 1% indicated cut for this year's budget due to the COVID-19 outbreak, and potentially even a larger cut for next year's budget, potentially up to 5%. We don't know for sure yet. We need to be very conservative with our budgeting right now, but we should know about that here fairly shortly. We also talked about are we still able to pay our employees right now? Are they still able to work, earn money? And yes, right now both our salaried and classified staff are being able to work and are offered hours, and we're still able to, we're still getting the funding in, and so we want to make sure that we're taking care of our staff as well. Then we heard a report from Jaron. Jaron was talking about the need to have our parents get involved to help kind of push our kids right now to complete the assignments that are coming out. The teachers are doing a great job of actually getting virtual sessions and virtual homework, if you will, out for instructional purposes out to our kids. Unfortunately, the participation is fairly low right now, and Jaron was asking that we as parents get involved to help encourage our kids to complete those assignments. It's less assignments than if they were in school, but it's important for them to continue the learning process. It's tough to just take 3 months out of a year for our students and expect that when they come back that they're able to stay on track. So it's very important for us to do that. We also talked about a policy that's in place. You can go on Facebook and look at that policy, but in reference to if, depending on where they were before we had a school closure, how their grades can be affected by not doing something or continuing to improve. So you want to check that out. Also talked about the accreditation. Looks like from the review, everything looks good and we should be fully accredited. So that's good news. Jaron talked about our new social studies hire, Dana Strong, a great find. We're excited to have Dana come into the district. He's also going to be coaching our football teams as well as our basketball teams. So it's great to have be able to hire new talent. Talked a little bit about testing. We know that the ISAT testing has already been taken off the table for this year. There will not be ISAT testing this year. We reviewed the ADA report. The board wanted to know, we've made some measures to try to improve ADA. ADA is the average daily attendance. That's how the school is funded. When your kids don't come to school, we lose funding for that day, and it's on a daily basis. And we want to make sure that we are paying attention to average daily attendance, trying to drive the students to be at school more often. Obviously, it's beneficial for the student to learn more, and also it helps us from a budgeting perspective. We went into some action items. We approved next year's calendar. I'll post that up here, but that should be on Facebook as well. We approved the budget board meeting, which will be June the 15th. That's where we set the budget for the year, the next school year. We then had Misty Swanson from ISBA give us an overview of the process again for our superintendent search. And we then split into executive session, and we went through all of the applications, and we were able to come out of that executive session, and a motion was made to move 5 of those candidates as semifinalists. And the names of the 5 semifinalists in alphabetical order: Ben Merrill, Jim Brown, Carl Coghill, Matt Vlado, and Tanya Kellogg. Now, I apologize if I murdered some of those names, but we're looking forward to meeting each one of those individuals in more detail. We're going to follow up with some short Zoom interview sessions, and then out of this, we will come with some finalists. And once we have the finalists, we're going to look to do some, obviously get the community involved, do some virtual meetups, something that will allow us to get these folks out into the public and have the community weigh in on these candidates. After our late night executive sessions, it was about 11:30, 12 o'clock. Understand for those that dropped off, but we actually did have people that stuck around. But for you that dropped off or were not able to attend, the last 2 motions were to approve the new hires. Again, that was our high school social studies teacher and going to be future basketball and football head coach, Dana Strong. We're excited to have Dana come in. And we also approved for the hiring of Amy Gassi. Amy has been working in our junior high math program and now has accepted the high school math position. Very excited to have Amy around again and for her to continue with Hagerman. We appreciate the community's involvement, and until next time, have a great day and stay safe.